to admit publicly that you never tried to hurt anyone, that everything they said about you was a lie. A calculated, deliberate, soul-crushing lie designed to destroy your reputation, your relationships, and your peace of mind. But here is the twist that changes everything. This confession is not happening because they suddenly found their conscience. This is not some spiritual awakening where guilt overwhelmed them and they decided to do the right thing. No, this is raw, primal, self-serving terror. They have realized something that shook them to their core. They picked a fight with the wrong one. They declared war on someone connected to forces beyond their understanding, and now those forces are closing in. What I am about to reveal to you will validate everything you sensed but could not prove. Every time your gut told you something was off, every moment when you felt attacked from angles you could not see, every night when you lay awake wondering why certain people turned cold toward you, it was all orchestrated, and the orchestrator is now desperate for mercy they never extended to you. Think of it like this. They built an elaborate trap, spent months, maybe years, perfecting every detail, but they built it on quicksand. And now they are sinking in their own creation while you stand on solid ground, watching the universe deliver justice you never had to seek. Let me take you back to where this really started, long before you noticed anything was wrong, long before the whispers, long before the changed behaviors in people you trusted. There was someone watching you with an intensity that bordered on obsession. They studied your movements, they analyzed your relationships, they documented your wins. What caught their attention was something they could not name or understand. There was an energy around you. Doors opened for you that stayed closed for them. People gravitated toward you without effort on your part. Opportunities found you, like you had some invisible magnet pulling blessings in your direction. To a healthy person, this would inspire admiration, maybe curiosity about what they could learn from you. But to someone operating from a place of deep spiritual poverty, your light became an accusation. Your success became evidence of some cosmic injustice they needed to correct. Here is what their twisted mind concluded. They decided the universe was a limited resource. Your wins meant their losses. If they could tear you down, somehow your blessings would transfer to them, like they could steal your destiny by destroying your present. So they began building a profile on you, not to understand you, to dismantle you. They identified who mattered most to you. They learned the insecurities of your partner. They studied the triggers of your friends. They mapped the concerns of your family. Every vulnerability became a weapon in their arsenal. The level of detail in their surveillance would unsettle anyone who understood its full extent. They tracked patterns in your daily routine. They noticed when you were most active online. They identified which friendships seemed strongest and which showed any signs of strain. They looked for cracks they could exploit and wedges they could drive deeper. This was not casual observation. This was predatory research conducted with a singular goal: complete destruction of everything you had built, everything you represented, everything you were becoming. They wanted to erase you from the lives of everyone who mattered to you. The sophistication of their operation would disturb you if you knew the full scope. They did not just talk behind your back. They created evidence, digital fabrications, manipulated screenshots, fake conversations with timestamps designed to look authentic. They learned software specifically to manufacture proof of things that never happened. Fake profiles appeared, not just to spy on you, but to create fictional versions of you engaging in behaviors that existed only in their imagination. They would screenshot innocent interactions, edit them out of context, and present this manufactured evidence as proof of your alleged misconduct. They even studied your writing style, your vocabulary, your communication patterns, so they could create messages that appeared to come from you, emails you never sent, texts you never typed. They committed digital identity theft to frame you for a character assassination of yourself. The psychological sophistication behind their methods reveals someone who had done this before, or someone who studied manipulation like others study medicine or law. They understood human psychology well enough to exploit it. They knew that once doubt is planted, it grows on its own. They knew that defending yourself against vague accusations often makes you look more guilty. They designed scenarios where you could not win, but chosen one. While they were busy building this empire of deception, they missed the most critical element in the equation. They saw only the external effects of your life, the success, the connections, the opportunities. They were so focused on the shadows that they completely missed the fire casting them. Your spiritual protection was invisible to them, and invisible protection does not mean absent protection. The moment they launched their first attack, they triggered something they were completely unprepared for. Forces older than their understanding, powers that operate on timelines beyond human comprehension. They thought they were picking a fight with you. They were actually challenging the entire system that placed you where you are. Let me tell you about the network they built around you. This was not impulsive jealousy spilling out at random moments. This was psychological warfare executed with precision that would impress military strategists. They positioned themselves strategically in your relationships. To your partner, they became the concerned friend who just happened to notice things about your behavior. To your friends, they played the voice of reason, expressing worry about changes they claimed to see in you. To your family, they presented themselves as the caring observer, brave enough to speak uncomfortable truths. The same story was customized for each audience, small variations to make it feel organic. Details shifted slightly depending on who was listening. They created an echo chamber around you, where different voices seemed to independently confirm the same concerns. What made their manipulation so effective initially was the patience behind it. They did not rush. They did not dump all their fabricated evidence at once. They released information slowly, a concerned comment here, a worried observation there, building a case over time so it felt like mounting evidence rather than coordinated attack. They knew that sudden accusations trigger skepticism, gradual revelations trigger belief, so they played the long game, waiting weeks or months between each planted seed, making sure each new piece of information seemed to connect naturally to what came before. But here is where their plan revealed its first fatal flaw. They underestimated the intelligence of the people who truly know you. While some initially bought the narrative, others felt something off about the messenger. The same intuitive gifts that drew people to you in the first place started triggering warnings about this person's motivations. Some pretended to believe. They played along while watching, taking mental notes, waiting. These silent witnesses would become crucial later when the collapse began. When subtle manipulation was not moving fast enough, they escalated. They created situations designed to make you look guilty. They manufactured crises around special occasions. They targeted moments when family gathered and emotions ran high. If children were connected to your situation in any way, they weaponized those innocent souls as pawns. They planted suggestions about your influence on young ones. They created concerns out of nothing, knowing that any perceived threat to children triggers the most primal protective responses in adults. The cruelty of involving children reveals the depth of their moral bankruptcy. Nothing was sacred to them. No boundary existed that they would not cross. They calculated that emotional reactions around children would be too intense for rational analysis. Parents and family members would respond from fear rather than logic. But something happened they never expected. Children often sense what adults have learned to suppress. The very children they tried to use against you grew uncomfortable in their presence. Kids avoided them instinctively. Young ones openly expressed dislike without being able to explain why. Innocents recognized the predator before adults did. The escalation continued. They moved from psychological warfare into spiritual territory. They researched energy work and manifestation specifically to use your own beliefs against you. They performed rituals designed to block your success. They enlisted others in spiritual attacks, convincing these people they were helping to balance things or teach you necessary lessons. They genuinely believed they could drain your light, cut your connection to guidance, redirect your blessings to themselves. What they did not understand about spiritual warfare is that it only works against the unprotected. Every attack they sent your way met resistance they could not comprehend. Their negative energy was not just neutralized, it was transformed into fuel for your growth. They started experiencing what can only be described as supernatural interference. Technology malfunctioned when they tried to create false evidence. Their phones crashed when taking screenshots of fabricated conversations. Their computers froze when editing photos designed to frame you. Their internet connection died precisely when they tried to post defamatory content. These technological failures were not coincidence, they were intervention. Every piece of fabricated evidence they tried to create was blocked by forces operating through the very technology they weaponized. Files corrupted mysteriously, programs crashed at critical moments, saved work disappeared without explanation. Coincidences multiplied beyond statistical probability. They would tell someone a lie about you, and that person would encounter contradicting evidence within hours. They would plant false evidence only to find it mysteriously disappeared. Every time they attempted to damage your reputation, information about their own questionable behavior would somehow leak. Perfect balance, universal law operating with surgical precision. The spiritual consequences became physical. They woke with unexplained bruises after performing rituals against you. Sudden illness struck immediately after sending negative intentions your way. Their reflection began looking distorted to them, as if their own energy was becoming so toxic it affected their physical appearance. Their health began declining in ways doctors could not explain. Chronic fatigue that sleep could not fix. Anxiety that medication could not calm, a heaviness in their chest that felt like carrying stones everywhere they went. Their body was keeping score of every spiritual attack they launched. Nightmares invaded their sleep, visions of you surrounded by beings of light, protected by forces that made their attacks look pathetic. They would wake with physical symptoms, nausea, headaches, a crushing dread that seeped into their bones and would not leave. They started researching karmic return, desperately trying to understand what they had awakened. The deeper they studied spiritual laws, the more terror gripped them. They had not just attacked a person, they had declared war on something vast and ancient, and it was winning decisively. The more they learned about spiritual consequences, the more they realized escape was impossible. Karma does not forget, it does not negotiate, it does not accept excuses. Every action creates an equal reaction. Every intention sends energy that must return to its source. They had sent enough negative energy your way to create a tidal wave. That wave was now returning home. Now we reach the moment when everything began falling apart for them. The collapse did not happen gradually. It was sudden, catastrophic, beyond their ability to control. People they had manipulated started comparing notes. Inconsistencies emerged that could not be explained away. Details changed between tellings. Timelines did not match. Evidence they claimed to have seen mysteriously could not be produced when demanded. The first cracks appeared when two people they had separately manipulated happened to discuss their conversations with this person. The stories did not match. Dates conflicted. Specific details contradicted each other. What seemed like independent confirmation suddenly looked like coordinated deception. The main target of their manipulation began asking uncomfortable questions, demanding proof, insisting on specifics that exposed the fabricated nature of accusations. The house of cards started tumbling when they could not provide what did not exist, but the exposure did not happen through investigation alone. It happened through spiritual revelation. The person they had most successfully turned against you began receiving dreams, intuitive insights, synchronistic messages that revealed the true source of toxicity in their life. These revelations came with undeniable clarity. Dreams so vivid they could not be ignored, gut feelings so strong they demanded attention, random encounters with information that directly contradicted what they had been told. The universe was actively deprogramming the people who had been deceived. Relationships they thought they controlled through deception turned against them. The same people who believed lies about you started seeing this person clearly for the first time. Even non-spiritual people began feeling uncomfortable in their presence. Something heavy and discordant surrounded their energy field now. The shift happened almost overnight. One week they had a network of believers supporting their narrative. The next week those same people were avoiding their calls, making excuses not to meet. The isolation they tried to create for you was suddenly manifesting in their own life. Their panic reached crisis level when they discovered several people had been documenting their lies from the beginning. Screenshots saved, conversations recorded, notes compared about inconsistencies noticed over time. What they thought was a secret campaign had been observed and documented by witnesses they never knew existed. The final blow came when they realized some of their supposed allies never believed them at all. These people had been playing along, gathering information, waiting for the right moment to expose everything. They discovered they had been surrounded by individuals who saw through the deception but chose to watch them destroy themselves. The betrayal they felt from discovering these silent witnesses mirrored exactly the betrayal they had orchestrated against you. People pretending to be on their side while actually working against them. The poetic justice was almost too perfect to be coincidence. Legal consequences started mounting. Some of their tactics crossed boundaries that attorneys found interesting. The fake profiles could constitute identity theft. The manipulated images and fabricated conversations could qualify as defamation. The documented harassment could support civil action. People they had manipulated began consulting lawyers about the psychological damage of being used as weapons in someone else's vendetta. Financial pressure built, legal fees loomed, settlements became possible. The cost of their obsession was becoming very real. The legal exposure extended further than they anticipated. Digital forensics could prove manipulation of images and conversations. Metadata revealed creation dates and editing histories. The very technology they used to attack you now provided evidence against them. But worse than money was the social exile. Word spread through their circles about manipulative behavior that created a reputation following them everywhere they tried to go. New relationships failed before starting. Professional connections evaporated. The isolation they tried to create for you became their lived reality. Every attempt to control the narrative as it shifted only provided more evidence of manipulation. They found themselves caught in the same web they had woven around you, but without any protection, without any support, without any divine backing to soften the fall. The more they tried to explain or justify their actions, the deeper they sank. Every defense exposed another lie. Every excuse revealed another manipulation. They were drowning in their own deception while the world watched and documented their descent. Now comes the surrender. Not from genuine remorse, from complete overwhelm. They have encountered forces that have crushed their ability to continue attacks. They are not just admitting lies. They are begging for mercy from consequences that have become unbearable. Karmic return has manifested in their daily existence. The isolation they tried to create for you is now their morning, afternoon, and evening. The reputation damage they attempted against you has attached itself to them like a shadow. The spiritual attacks they launched have rebounded with intensity that keeps them living in constant fear. Their life has become a series of obstacles, mirroring exactly what they tried to create for you. Opportunities they pursue disappear. Relationships they attempt to build collapse. Projects they start fall apart through circumstances beyond their control. They are experiencing firsthand what life looks like without divine protection and guidance. The symmetry between what they attempted against you and what they now experience is striking. They tried to sabotage your career. Their career imploded. They tried to destroy your relationships. Their relationships evaporated. They tried to damage your health through spiritual attack. Their health deteriorated. Mirror consequences. Perfect balance. The most pathetic aspect of their current situation is how desperately they are trying to undo spiritual damage, not from genuine remorse, from terror at escalating consequences. They consult practitioners, they pay for cleansing rituals, they travel seeking help from anyone claiming power to stop the karmic avalanche. Every spiritual authority tells them the same thing. They attacked someone under divine protection. The only way to stop consequences is genuine repentance and making amends. But genuine repentance requires actually being sorry for hurting you. They are only sorry they are facing consequences for hurting you. Their attempts at spiritual cleansing fail because motivation is self-serving rather than sincere. The universe does not respond to manipulation disguised as spiritual practice. They have tried every shortcut and loophole they could find. Paid practitioners who promised to transfer karma away, performed rituals they found online claiming to reverse consequences, traveled to sacred sites hoping geography could provide escape. Nothing works, nothing can work, because the solution is internal and they are looking externally. Recurring nightmares plague them. They see you surrounded by light, protected by forces making their attacks look like throwing stones at a mountain. A voice in these dreams presents two choices: genuine transformation through honest acknowledgement of wrongs, or continued escalation of consequences until lessons are learned. They wake knowing every day they delay taking responsibility adds pressure to an already crushing load. They are caught in a spiritual pressure cooker of their own design. The only release is complete honesty and genuine repentance, two things their ego desperately resists. And now the begging has begun. They are pleading with people to tell everyone the truth, to publicly acknowledge you never tried to hurt anyone, that every accusation was projection of their own toxic nature, that their entire campaign was motivated by jealousy of abilities they could not understand or replicate. The desperation in their begging has shocked those who witness it. This person who once seemed so confident in their accusations is now a trembling mess, crying, pleading, offering anything in exchange for public correction of the lies they spread. The transformation from accuser to beggar happened faster than anyone expected. This is where your vindication becomes undeniable. While they have been drowning in consequences, you have been rising to levels of success and spiritual power, exceeding anything before their interference. Their attacks did not just fail to harm you, they activated dormant potentials that might have taken years to develop naturally. Every attack forced you to strengthen boundaries. Every lie exposed taught you to trust intuition more deeply. Every moment of isolation connected you more profoundly to your divine source. They tried to break you. Instead, they broke you open to your true power. The spiritual awakening their attacks triggered in you accelerated your growth exponentially. Abilities you did not know you possessed surfaced under pressure. Discernment sharpened, intuition strengthened, connection to guidance deepened. They meant to diminish you. They catalyzed your expansion. Success is not just returning to previous levels. It is surpassing anything you experienced before. The universe compensated you for attacks by accelerating blessings and opportunities. New doors opened bigger and better than ones they tried to close. New relationships entered deeper and more authentic than those they tried to destroy. New levels of spiritual awareness activated, transforming their warfare into advanced training in discernment. The compensation has been generous beyond measure, opportunities appearing that seem designed specifically for your gifts. Connections forming with people who recognize and celebrate your light. Resources flowing in amounts that exceed what was lost. The universe does not just restore, it multiplies. They can see now the energy around you they were blind to before. The light, the protection, the spiritual authority marking you as someone chosen for specific purpose. They understand why nothing they did could truly harm you, why every attack made you stronger, why their own life began falling apart the moment they decided to interfere with your journey. The full confession includes acknowledging you were always innocent of everything they accused you of. Every intuition you had about their character was accurate. Every boundary you tried to set was justified. Every moment you felt something wrong but could not prove it, you were receiving divine guidance about warfare being waged against you. What began as an attack designed to destroy has become the catalyst for your greatest spiritual activation. The obsession meant to diminish your light made it shine brighter. Lies about your character have been so thoroughly exposed that your integrity stands beyond question. This person thought they were playing chess. They were actually arranging pieces for your coronation. Every move meant to diminish your power served to reveal it more fully. Every attempt to isolate you from support led you to discover unlimited support from divine sources. Their confession marks the end of one phase and the beginning of another. You stand vindicated not just in human terms, but in cosmic terms. The universe itself has testified to your innocence through the complete collapse of every lie told against you. Tested by forces of deception and manipulation, emerge victorious without compromising integrity or descending to their level. Their acknowledgement of truth is surrender to forces they never should have challenged. Moving forward from this vindication, you carry not wounds of attacks but wisdom gained from surviving spiritual warfare. Discernment that cannot be fooled has developed. Boundaries that cannot be breached have formed. Connection to divine protection that cannot be severed has strengthened. Forged in the fire of deception, emerged as pure gold. The lessons learned through this trial are gifts that will serve you for life. Pattern recognition that spots manipulation before it gains traction. Emotional intelligence that reads true intentions behind surface words. Spiritual sensitivity that detects threats invisible to ordinary perception. These are skills money cannot buy. Only experience provides them. What appeared to be your darkest chapter was actually your greatest initiation. The person who tried to write your tragic ending instead authored your triumphant beginning. Their confession is not just admission of guilt, it is testimony to your spiritual invincibility, living proof that chosen ones cannot be diminished by human manipulation, that divine protection is real and active, that the universe uses even attacks of enemies to serve highest good. Every accusation they made was projection. Every campaign was motivated by jealousy, and here is what keeps them awake at night. Their attacks activated dormant powers within you that have made you more successful, more magnetic, and more spiritually connected than you have ever been. They meant to destroy. They catalyzed your evolution. The confession that is happening right now reaches further than just clearing your name. It exposes the entire operation, the fake profiles, the manufactured evidence, the coordinated manipulation of your relationships, the spiritual warfare they engaged in, thinking it would go undetected. Everything is coming into the light, and in that light, truth stands unassailable. The exposure is complete and comprehensive. Not a single lie remains hidden. Not a single manipulation stays secret. Every tactic has been revealed. Every deception has been documented. The full scope of their campaign is now public knowledge among everyone they tried to influence. Remember where we started. Someone on their knees, begging another person to tell everyone you never tried to hurt anyone. This scene is not metaphor. This is happening. The desperation is real. The terror is authentic. The consequences they face are tangible. And you did not have to lift a finger to make this happen. Divine justice required no assistance from you. The universe handled this while you continued building your life, pursuing your purpose, walking your path. This is what protection looks like. Not preventing attacks, ensuring attacks cannot succeed and that attackers face full accountability. The protection you experienced was not passive, it was active, working constantly behind scenes you could not observe, blocking attacks you never knew were launched, exposing lies before they could take root, preserving relationships that mattered while removing those that served their agenda. Divine protection fought battles you were not even aware were happening. Their surrender is total. Their confession is complete. Their begging for mercy reveals exactly how the tables have turned. The person who once felt powerful enough to wage psychological and spiritual warfare against you now has no power at all. None. They are at the mercy of forces they do not understand, seeking relief from consequences they cannot escape, and you stand in your power, vindicated, protected, elevated. The circular nature of this story brings us back to the beginning, transformed. They watched you with obsession, studying your success, planning your downfall. Now they watch their own downfall, desperate for someone to believe their pleas for mercy. They built networks of manipulation around you. Now they find themselves isolated, with former allies turned witnesses against them. They created false evidence designed to destroy your reputation. Now that evidence has been exposed, destroying their credibility forever. They launched spiritual attacks thinking they could drain your light. Now they live in spiritual darkness they cannot escape, while your light burns brighter than before. They tried to turn your loved ones against you. Now those same people have turned against them with the fury of those who realized they were manipulated and used. Perfect reversal, cosmic balance, divine justice. This is not about revenge. This is about order being restored, about truth outlasting lies, about authentic power remaining invincible against manufactured deception. The restoration happening in your life extends beyond what was attacked. It reaches into areas you did not even know needed healing, old wounds addressed through this process, past traumas transformed into wisdom, limiting beliefs exposed and released. The attack became a comprehensive clearing that left you cleaner than before. The confession happening right now is the universe's announcement that your test has ended and you passed, not by fighting back, not by sinking to their level, not by seeking vengeance, by remaining who you are, while everything designed to destroy you was turned into fuel for your evolution. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. Everything you sensed was real. Every intuition was accurate. Every moment of feeling attacked from invisible angles was divine guidance, alerting you to genuine danger. You were never crazy. You were awake. You were never paranoid. You were perceptive. You were never imagining things. You were receiving intelligence from sources protecting your path. Trust yourself deeper than ever before. Your instincts proved accurate when tested severely. Your gut feelings were correct when logic could not explain them. Your spiritual sensitivity detected real threats that others missed. This validation should strengthen your self-trust permanently. And now that path opens wider than ever before, with those who opposed you exposed and crumbling, with those who doubted you now seeing clearly, with divine forces that protected you continuing to guide you toward everything waiting for your arrival. They're begging for someone to tell everyone you never tried to hurt anyone is the sound of complete defeat. The acknowledgement that every attack failed, every scheme collapsed, every lie was eventually exposed, every weapon formed against you did not prosper. Hold this truth in your spirit. Let it settle deep. Let it replace any remaining doubt about your innocence, your protection, your destiny. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. Someone is begging right now for the truth about you to be told publicly, that you never tried to hurt anyone, that you were the target, not the threat. that everything said against you was manufactured by jealousy and obsession. Their begging is your vindication. Their terror is your testimony. Their collapse is your coronation. The chapter closing now was necessary for the chapter opening next. Without the test you passed, you could not access what awaits. Without the fire you endured, the gold could not emerge. Without the darkness you navigated, you could not appreciate the light you have become. Rise now, chosen one, fully vindicated, completely protected, eternally destined for greatness. No human manipulation can prevent. The confession is complete. The truth has set everyone free, including them, though they may not understand that gift for years to come. As for you, this marks not an ending but a beginning. Your power is no longer hidden. Your purpose is no longer questioned. Tested by darkness, emerged as light, attacked by lies, proven to be truth itself. The universe has spoken through their admission. The message echoes across all dimensions. You are chosen, you are innocent, you are protected, and your time has arrived. Step forward into everything waiting for you. Walk boldly into the opportunities being prepared. Receive freely the blessings being released. Your vindication is complete. Your elevation begins now. And nothing in this world or any other can stop what has been divinely ordained for your life.